Hello and welcome back to another action figure comparison video, and it's been a while since we have a new contender from a different action figure line to challenge the big two. So for today's episode we will be comparing the Medicom Toys Mafex Miles Morales with the Sentinel Toys SV Action Miles Morales, based on the character from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse animated movie. I'm so glad that we have a different contender this time, and as always with these episodes, all opinions and comments made about either of these two figures are based purely on one person's opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and we can all agree to disagree and still respect each other. And at the end of the day, this video is made purely for entertainment purposes only. And if you manage to learn a thing or two from today's video, then it makes up for all that dough buying two of the same character. So let's all get together, sit back, relax, and pop open that favorite drink of the week, and let's get this started by talking about figure design. It's clear between the two who works out and who doesn't. Look at how fragile looking the Mafex Miles Morales looks, and it feels like it too. I know it serves a purpose, and that is to make it easier for the clothes to slip onto the body, but damn dude, eat a banana or two. I feel like I'm going to break him in half if I exert too much force. Whereas on the other side of the fence, we have a better looking Miles Morales in terms of proportion and muscularity. Even though he's still skinny, there's some bulk to his frame, which makes him look a lot more heroic and not so frail and weak. Though the neck is a little short and it kinda makes him look like he's shrugging. In terms of the suit design, both figures managed to capture the spray paint like effect on the logo on the front and at the back, but there's a bit of a shiny finish to the Mafex figure in comparison to Sentinel Toys' matte finish, and the webbing details are much deeper on the Mafex figure with the silver paint to highlight those webbing, but unfortunately it is a little messy in some areas, whereas Sentinel Toys still has details, but it's a lot more subtle in comparison to Mafex, but it makes the logo much more readable from afar compared to Mafex, which looks a little too busy. Both figures have textures on their suits, which is great. Another thing that stood out to me, and I pointed this out in the Mafex figure review, is the shape of the head and mouth. And finally, I have Sentinel Toys head shape for comparison. And the big reason why Mafex head looks so out of proportion is because he doesn't have any chin. So if he had chin, it would be like Sentinel Toys, where the area where the mask meets the mouth will have some protrusion, but the way Mafex's head is sculpted, it is as if he has a very flat or narrow chin and mouth. He looks like an alien. But here's the thing, that's how he looks in the movies. Yep. So now I'm really torn between having to choose what looks anatomically correct from Sentinel Toys and a movie accurate head sculpt from Mafex. But at least Sentinel Toys painted the eye rings in blue, which is more accurate than Mafex's white eye ring. In terms of figure engineering, both of these figures have essentially the same engineering except for three things. The Sentinel Toys have a ball jointed shoulder in which if you lift it a certain angle, it exposes the joint, as opposed to Mafex, which has more cut pieces, so the joints are more concealed. Sentinel Toys' legs can't be pulled down, while Mafex's legs can. And the biggest head scratcher for me, Sentinel Toys decided to use non-movable wrist pegs, while Mafex has the typical action figure movable wrist pegs. At the end of the day, if you're talking about overall looks, while Mafex may look more movie accurate than the Sentinel Toys figure, in terms of the weirdly shaped head to his very skinny and slender frame, I'd still prefer Sentinel Toys looks with the more human proportion and the cleaner, more readable design compared to the Mafex figure. But it all comes down to your personal preference between the two. Either you want a more movie accurate looking figure or a more proportionate figure, and whichever side you decide to go for, the choices are pretty clear. Articulation. As always, we come to my favorite portion of these episodes, and as you know, we have before us two extremely poseable figures, and the only way to finally determine who's the ultimate poser is by bringing in the Cheerleaders Challenge. Look up to the stars, the self-love, the back scratcher, the mermaid, the ab cruncher, the crotch killer, the groin tear, the wall crawler, the dead spider, the thinker, the tango, the Iron Man pose, the crane, the butt checker, the end of the tunnel, the potty squatter, the what the? That's just great. Accessories. For their accessories, each package have their own unique set of accessories, and if you've been collecting Mafex Spider-Man figures in the past, you know what to expect because they generally give you the same thing, such as 2 different pairs of web shooting effects with one long web to hold, the unmasked accessory, and a whole bunch of hand accessories, whereas Sentinel Toys also has a bunch of hand accessories for you to play with, but unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, they are all on non-movable pegs, so you're stuck with whatever position it comes with. I mean, even the web shooting effects is glued on the web shooting hands, so there's not a lot of freedom that comes with the Sentinel Toys accessories. But it does have its own unique set of accessories, such as the spray can hand accessory, the headphones which can only be worn by Miles when he's got his mask on, the little cell phone with a dedicated hand accessory to hold it, and the hammer which a lot of you were kind enough to point out that it was given to Miles by Spider-Ham towards the end of the movie. So it's a nice little addition to the package. And for Mafex, well, they don't have any of those movie-specific accessories. Both companies gave us a different expression of Miles Morales. Mafex gave us a slightly squinting eye expression, whereas Sentinel Toys gave us the Deadpool-like one eye squinted and the other eye wide open. And thankfully, both companies gave us unmasked Miles Morales head accessories, but they're still unique to their own packages. Mafex gave us one full unmasked head and one where it's half masked, and Sentinel Toys gave us a very cheeky looking Miles Morales. And when it comes to its accuracies, I'm going to let you guys be the judge of that at the end of the day, but personally, I still think both companies did a really good job making a Miles Morales face. You just have to decide which direction you prefer your Miles to be looking at, because Mafex's face looks straight ahead, while Sentinel Toys' face is looking towards the right. And now we come to the comparison that either makes or breaks one of these packages, and it is one of the most highly debatable portion of these two figures' accessories, the interchangeable clothing. So Mafex gave us his casual wear using cloth-like material, and I think this accessory is sewn very neatly, and you've got wires at the bottom for some posability as well. So to equip this is pretty much like wearing your own clothes. You just have to remove the hands and feet to slip the clothes in, pack the sneakers in, and voila, ready for a walk. And for Sentinel Toys, the casual form comes in hard plastic, and it takes a little bit more work to put this thing on, as it involves pretty much removing all of his limbs and pegging all the accessories in. And it comes in this flat out pose, and because it is made out of hard plastic, you can't really work this around. So if you're talking about movie accuracy, the one detail that Sentinel Toys managed to catch is this logo on the jacket, which the Mafex jacket does not have. But in terms of the colors, because the movie is so full of color and contrast, playing with night and day, there's certain scenes where the jacket looks like the one Mafex has, whereas during some scenes it looks like the one Sentinel Toys has. So I would say there's nothing wrong with what both companies have to offer, but personally when it comes down to ease of use, and I've said this before, I definitely prefer using accessories made out of cloth if it is neatly done. I mean, there's just so much freedom with the cloth material, and the fact it has wires for posability for the Mafex clothing just makes it slightly better in terms of giving you options compared to what Sentinel Toys is offering. Plus, I don't have to be pulling and pegging limbs every time I want to change between forms. But again, this is just my opinion, and at the end of the day, they both serve its purpose and you can't really go wrong with either one of them. Scale. So for the height comparison between the two, they're pretty much the same height. Maybe Sentinel Toys is just a touch taller, but with the sneakers on, all of a sudden Mafex got a lot taller instead. I guess we know who's got higher insoles in their sneakers. Afro to afro without the sneakers, they're still about the same height. And here is the Sentinel Toys and Mafex Miles Morales figure standing next to other action figures for scale comparison. Conclusion. So, in summary, I haven't been this split between two figures for a very long time. Okay, so let's break it down. In my humble opinion, if we're simply talking about the figure alone, then I really like what Sentinel Toys have to offer. It just looks clean. No unnecessary metallic finish, no unnecessary shine, build is solid, figure feels sturdy. It feels and looks better than what Mafex has to offer. Although I do wish it had movable wrist pegs. But I do like the Mafex accessories just a little better. The half mask head, the magnetic features, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I do prefer cloth material over hard plastic for clothing. And sure, the Sentinel package does have its own unique accessories, but I feel Mafex has better accessories as a whole. So it's almost like the perfect Miles Morales action figures lies between the two. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to what you prefer between the two. I don't believe you can go wrong with either one of them, as both companies really put in a lot of effort into making these figures, and it shows. But I'm still curious, which one would you pick as your favorite Miles Morales action figure between the two? Has this episode convinced you to switch sides? Do you remain where you are? Share it with me in the comment section down below. And with that all said, that concludes today's comparison episode. I truly hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it somewhat informative. If you did, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I thank you all very much for watching all the way till the end. I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Have a great week and take care. To watch more, click here. Click here for video 1. Click here for video 2. Click here to subscribe. Click it. Thank you for watching. Arigato. Thank you.